Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf has announced her intent to take the Oakland Raiders, by eminent domain and has filed an injunction in the Alameda County Superior Court. There are a number of sound reasons for this, and before I get to those reasons, let me explain that, first of all, this all started because Oakland Raider owner Mark Davis initiated attempts first to move the team to Carson and then to Las Vegas, but created the argument that Oakland did not develop a new stadium plan. That is not true. In fact, none other than Miami Dolphins owner Stephen Ross said that the reason he voted no, the only no vote among the 31 because it was an open vote rather than a secret ballot, was because the NFL Relocation Bylaws were not followed, and that the City of Oakland and the County of Alameda did indeed provide plans for a new stadium in the home market. So essentially, Mr. Ross has admitted that the NFL violated its own relocation bylaws, but I digress. The bottom line here is to have the City of Oakland recover and own, if for a limited period of time, the Raiders, specifically to seek the recovery of $167 million in unpaid bond debt owed without using taxpayer dollars. Now, those monies owed are based on the original Raider bond, or I should say bond issues, that were let to refurbish the Coliseum for the return of the Raiders from Los Angeles to Oakland. Now, the bond issues didn't produce proceeds, in other words, money, that was used just for the refurbishment of the Coliseum, but also for the creation of the Raiders training camp facility and headquarters in Alameda County, California. So essentially, the city and the county floated this bond issue to not just refurbish the Coliseum, but give the Raiders money to build a facility for itself. In other words, the city and the county put money into the Raiders organization itself that it has not recovered. Something dramatic has developed since the original 1982 Oakland Raiders, City of Oakland versus the Oakland Raiders case that went to the California Supreme Court, and it's this. First of all, that case said that the City of Oakland indeed did have the right to take the Raiders by eminent domain, but it had to establish what was called a public purpose. At that time, the city's response, when the whole matter was remanded to the appellate court, was to say, well, the public purpose is essentially recreational. Today, and because the NFL has simply allowed this climate to develop as stadium construction costs have skyrocketed, in order to properly finance a stadium, you have to have it as part of a mixed-use development in many cases. That's true for Levi Stadium in San Francisco. It's true in baseball for the Atlanta Braves' new stadium in Cobb County. It's also true for the New England Stadium for the LA Rams that Stan Kroenke is building, which is a mixed-use development that, as he said, was going to be built anyway. But the bottom line is, today, football organizations are in many cases anchor tenants in shopping centers. But in the Raiders case with the City of Oakland, even though the Raiders don't owe the specific monies on the bond issue, as one elected official pointed out to me a week ago, my retort is that wording that appears on every single bond document associated with the original series of bonds that were issued for the return of the Raiders from Los Angeles to Oakland, and that is that the stated purpose of the bonds was to basically upgrade the Coliseum and cause the relocation of the Raiders from Los Angeles to Oakland. That is stated. That's in the bond language. Again and again and again, even the refinancings. So the stated purpose of the bond is tied to the Raiders' return to Oakland from Los Angeles, or causing that to happen. Therefore, the Raiders themselves are responsible for the creation of the bond. They certainly didn't stop it. And because of the money that was used by the Raiders from the bond issue to build their headquarters, they benefited from it directly. Now, they want to move to Las Vegas and leave the taxpayer on the hook for $167 million and leave the City of Oakland, the County of Alameda, and the Fortress Lot Group without the intended purpose of benefiting from the Raiders' existence as the main anchor tenant in a mixed-use development. A mixed-use development partly financed by, again, the City of Oakland and the County of Alameda. So it's because of these reasons that the eminent domain argument is much stronger today than it was in 1982. In fact, by miles, by any measure, much stronger. Now, when the case went from the Supreme Court of California to the appellate court, the Raiders used a then novel argument of invoking the Commerce Clause. But as many legal analysts, or some legal analysts, have concluded, the appellate court really just bought the Commerce Clause argument hook, line, and sinker because it was new. There was no market study analysis attached to it. However, at that time, everyone agreed that Los Angeles was a larger and stronger economic market than the San Francisco Bay Area. Today, it's a completely different situation. Not only are we not talking about Los Angeles, but even if we were, according to a Bloomberg study, the San Francisco Bay Area is the most powerful economic region in the country, if not the world, and Los Angeles is number 17. Las Vegas isn't even on the chart. Las Vegas has the 40th largest media market. Basically, we know that Las Vegas is a much weaker metropolitan area compared to the power of the San Francisco Bay Area. That's undisputed. So the Raiders cannot claim that they are moving to a better region. That's out. It also brings up this point that if the Raiders' current management cannot effectively do business in the tech-rich Bay Area, they need to be replaced. And the only way to effectively replace them is by eminent domain. Thus, the eminent domain action yet again. The free flow of commerce argument does not apply in this case, not only because of the market difference, but because even the National Football League can't make the statement that it would be gaining by going to Las Vegas. Those who mention $750 million in public subsidy have to then contend with the over $1 billion in debt the move occurs, including the relocation fee itself, which the NFL itself imposes. The relocation fee may be seen as a benefit to owners, but in the case of this legal argument, it's actually an albatross around the neck of the National Football League, and that will be proven in court. So, where we are today is you're listening to a vlog that right now is one giant LERPA sleuth, or April Fool. But it's based on very real facts, information, conversations, and court cases extending all the way back to 1982. And research that I've done with the expectation that the Raiders would take the action that they've taken in trying to relocate first to Carson and then Las Vegas. In other words, I prepped for this for a long time. Stay tuned, and happy April Fool Day. But this is not an April Fool.